That was cheesy. So bad.
Exactly. Because throughout the film, I was like, why are you doing this?
I like during one part that I had trouble with that.
The other negative nitpick I had was a bit of a big one for me is I got my computer here with all my notes, and I just want to just give you a brief synopsis. So, like, basically, just long story short, we both like the movie. Well, we'll just go a little more detail into it. So, like, for starters, I'm just going to give the synopsis of the story. It's all about this character named Deck, and it's kind of like a bit of a rite of passage for him, where his goal was to go to the most dangerous planet in the universe to prove to his clan that he's capable of hunting the greatest, the strongest animal in the universe, right?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. And then along the way, he encounters some characters, like very colorful characters, I'd say.
Yeah.
And eventually he just wound up like I would say almost like it was a bit of a coming of age story, because like there was some character development and how he just wound up using a lot of the skills he developed in the planet.
Yeah.
To
it's also a story about found family versus actual family.
Yes. So the other thing I would say, like, I just want to just chime in with some negative nitpicks I have for it, just to get these out of my system and stuff. Because like from time to time, I usually see something that just really like bugs me in certain films, and this film's no exception. So like the first negative nitpick I have was I just felt that the beginning of the film, it was a little confusing to see who the characters were fighting against each other, because the first two guys you see in the fight, they kind of looked alike, and it took me a while to figure out who was who. And I kind of wish that they kind of did something like maybe change the colors of one of the characters just so I could like identify with them.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
That was just a bit of a negative nitpick.
That was only like during one part that I had trouble with that. Like, are we doing spoilers on this?
No, well, you be vague. That's all I'll say.
All I'll say is when they were on the ship, I got confused as to who was who.
Right.
During the fight, it was pretty clear cut.
Right.
But on the ship, I kind of lost track.
Exactly. So that's just something, like I just felt that was just something that bugged me a bit. The other negative nitpick I had was a bit of a big one for me, is they had a scene where Deck was like bonding with one of the characters in the film. It was at the third act. And I don't know, I just thought that was a little too cheesy. And I just wish they kind of cut that scene out. But again, that's just some little stuff I have. And this is kind of like another minor one, which was, for some weird reason, again, it's a spoiler, but I don't think it's going to harm the film just talking about it, there was a scene where they just keep playing the film and they just kept going and going. And they had this scene where Deck just stood up on a rock and then they said, Predator Badlands.
That was cheesy. So bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was bad because, we kind of talked about it as it happened. I'm like, no, they should have just waited towards the end, which they did anyway.
Right.
Which was so stupid.
Yeah, like I thought
they should have just left it at that.
Exactly. I think it would have worked if they just did like what you're suggesting, just show the Predator Badlands like in the end of the film.
The end, which is what they did.
Right. So it's kind of like they did it twice. So it's just, again, these kind of things, they just kind of get me out of the film.
Yeah, with that, like the title card, right. Like it was also very forced upon, which just didn't work in my opinion.
Right.
It's
like why are you showing this title like 10, 15 minutes after the film
starts? Yeah, no, they should have just left it towards the end, and that was that.
So again, I just like to get those things out of the way. Now, here are those things that I just really enjoyed with this film. Like for starters, it did a lot of callbacks to the older films, especially Predator 1. I won't say what happened, but it's just it kind of did like a reverse role where Deck was playing what Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the first film.
Yeah.
So I feel that's not a big spoiler, but it's just...
No, yeah, it was kind of cool too.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And speaking of callbacks, the other thing I really enjoyed was that I feel this film wanted you to pay attention to the beginning part of the film. Because like they brought in so many little details in the first act that really pay off in the second act. And I really appreciate that when it comes to storytelling. That's good storytelling.
Yeah.
Where there's a reason why you see all these things. Like in the beginning, you're confused. Why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me this lizard? Or why are you showing me these plants?
Yeah, with that montage scene.
Yeah, they're like, what's the point? Like, are you just trying to show off what you can do with the special effects? But at the same time, once you see it all come together, I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice reason why you're bringing that stuff up.
Yeah.
So Okay, so let's see. So yeah, again, it's like little things like that. So give me a second, I'm just collecting my thoughts a bit. Yeah, it was just a really fun film to watch.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to bring back is just talking about the characters in the film, like Thea.
Yeah.
I felt that she was a very appreciated character in the film, like very vital, because she brought in like a lot of humor and helped to develop Deck as a character.
Yeah. I also feel she's also like a very good, I forget what the term is, but
Supporting character.
no, not supporting character. I mean, she is
Yes.
supporting character, but that's not the term I'm thinking of. She's kind of like a good avatar for the watcher because
She was the she was
'cause you
she
don't
was our
necess-
voice.
exactly. And also like, since you don't know much about the predators
Right.
or the Yautja, it's like, she's kind of like our guide.
Yeah, gateway.
Gateway. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Gateway is a much better word.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yes. To see things through them because she could speak their language. So Deck would speak to her.
Right.
And we get a better, I mean, granted, yeah, there was
And
subtitles.
plus
Still.
she used but she also was a great use of setting up exposition.
Yeah,
And setting up the
exactly.
character developments and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And she had an interesting story where she was like dealing with what her purpose is in
Right.
the film. Again, very mild, but it's just, and then eventually she kind of ended up figuring out what it meant to be part of a clan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she also like, much like Tron Ares, she kind of went a little bit through like this whole kind of like, what's it mean to be like an artificial intelligence and be more than just that,
Right.
like
And
to be
question
more human.
and question her own roles
Exactly.
and what she should be, what's her purpose.
Exactly.
Because in the beginning she had, not minor spoilers, she had a purpose, but then she thought that was her true purpose, and eventually she realized that it was not the right path for her, and then she
Right.
eventually changed her ways. So I can't emphasize this enough. I feel this film is worth watching among all the Predator films we've been getting, because I'll admit we've had, like, I would say The Predator was a film that I thought was going to just kill the franchise. But after Prey, Killer Killers, and this film, directed by Dan Trachtenberg. Yeah.
Trachtenberg.
Yes. I feel this film franchise is in great hands. And I hope this film is a success.
Yeah.
And so, yep. And of course, Deck, the main character is the entire film. Like, I thought he was a great character. Like, they kind of went with the whole concept of him being like the underdog you just want to see, right? Overcome all these challenges.
I mean, yeah, he's the runt of the litter,
right.
so to speak.
Yes. And eventually, then he finally found his purpose, and it just became the character we hoped he would be.
Yeah.
There was just so much about this film, and I can't emphasize enough. Like,
It's really good. Also, like I've been up since 7:30 in the morning, and it's now like what 10 and change almost.
Yes,
it's like 10:30 right now.
right.
And like I thought that I might just fall asleep on this movie, but I did not. So
Yeah.
that's how good it was, because there was a slow moment for me where I kind of felt myself fade a little bit, just a
Right.
little bit, but then it went straight back into like like good, like well-paced storytelling and action. I
Right.
mean, it's not all just action, because there's some exposition that has to be explained.
Yes.
But it was enough where like I wasn't getting bored, I wasn't getting tired,
Right.
so I was wide awake for the whole thing.
Yeah, full transparency. This is a big compliment from Victor, because it's
kind of true.
yeah. Because the thing is, usually we watch films and then like there's slow moments, but the fact is that this film, it keeps you on, like it keeps your attention throughout the entire film.
Absolutely.
I would say there's like, aside from the nitpicks I've had, I would say there's zero fat. Like, every scene mattered, even the scenes you don't like or question.
I would say it's like maybe 0.5%.
Yes.
The stupid title card.
Yes, exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
Other than
Aside
that.
from but like every scene, aside from those scenes,
Yeah.
and the ones I questioned, like every scene was necessary. Like, even the scenes where you're like, why are you putting all this time on another character named Bud? So
Yeah.
like, at first I saw this character, I was like, why are you talking about this guy?
Yeah.
This girl, I should say.
Yeah.
But eventually, even that character had a purpose for the film.
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught on, but I caught on like when I was like, oh yeah, that's what I caught on. I'm sure you heard me.
Exactly.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Oh, okay.
Because throughout the film, I was like, why are you doing this thing with Bud? But then eventually there came a point around the third act, I'd say,
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, that's the reason why
If
you
it
brought
wasn't
this
the
character.
third, it was like the end of the second act.
Yes.
But yeah.
But yeah, there's just so much about this film. Like, granted, like you mentioned before, that it was a little tropey, and it's within the action film genre.
Yeah.
But I would say it did a lot of stuff that just really makes me appreciate storytelling. Like, there's even a plot twist.
Yes.
There was a plot twist, and that's something I really look forward to
Which
when
is
it comes to these
kind of
films.
related to the scene we were just talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, now aside from that, before we give our ratings, there was something I wanted to bring up, which is like, I just want to talk to the people who've been nitpicking this film. I mean, like, I nitpick a lot, but I just find it a little, I would say, disappointing how people like to nitpick just based on the trailers we've seen. Like, the fact is that everyone's like has issues with the fact that this is, I'd say, like the third Predator character to use CG to do not just the mouth, but the face and everything.
Okay.
That this is like the third character, and everyone's complaining about the fact is that this character is not using like prosthetics and appendages.
Oh.
And honestly, I felt using CG was the right call, because going back to Deck, like, since he's the main character, we get a lot of close-up shots of him, and you see like the snarling, the emotions on his character while he's going throughout the film, because he speaks his own language, but even when he speaks, he doesn't talk enough. So
I mean, he's a predator. So
exactly. Yeah. So, but the thing is, like, the fact is that mostly his storytelling is through his facial expressions.
Right. But honestly, like, the CG was really, really good. That honestly, I didn't even think about the fact of whether it was a prosthetic or CG.
Yes.
Like, it was convincing enough to me.
Right.
Like, plus the story was so good that I was kind of like immersed in it. So I wasn't really concerned about, like, oh,
Right.
it's a CG or whatever. I mean, obviously there were some parts that obviously are CG.
Right.
But like, as far as Deck was concerned, like, I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
It was convincing enough where I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Like, whatever. Like, I'm not worried about if it's CG or if it's prosthetics or whatever.
Right. Or the fact that it's not even accurate to the outjaws from the other films. Like,
well,
the fact is, because like a lot of more the designs of Predators, they're usually bald right here, but for some reason you see he has like Deck, he actually has hair right here. So I remember that was another big complaint, that he's not super accurate to what other Predators look like in the other films.
Well, so I mean, that could just be like and I'm just purely speculating here because, like I said, during the movie, you are the bigger fan than I am.
Yes.
But I'm thinking either A, it's because he's younger, or B, like he could be like an evolutionary offshoot.
That's one thing. The other option is he's just a different race of Predators.
Or like because
like, if you look at it, like when you look at humans, we don't all look alike. We do share basic features,
right?
But ultimately, we're still the same, but we just had different features. So that's another way to look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I just I feel for those who are complaining for those details we just addressed, like the hair, the CG, I really feel you're doing a disservice as a Predator fan, that you're missing out on a great film.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. You pretty much go with where I'm saying.
Yeah.
So aside from that, ready to give your rating?
Yeah.
What's your rating?
My rating is, actually, you can go first.
Okay. Well, honestly, I have been a huge Predator fan since day one, and I've watched every film. I've loved all of them, even AVP first.
I love AVP.
Yeah, AVP and AVPM. The only one I was never a big fan of was The Predator, but every other film, especially Prey and Killer of Killers. So, but at the same time, I gotta show how to describe it. Like, I also have to be honest with my criticisms and say, from all the things I just mentioned, I'd say it's a 9 for me.
Yeah, I would give it. I was gonna give it a 9, but that title card just kills me. Now, so I'm penalizing it
Right.
by 0.5. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5,
Yes.
and that's the very least.
But I will say this. In my heart, it's a 10. But I would say as a whole, it's a 9, and I highly recommend this film. The minor spoiler, but I will say that I really hope this film is successful because I would love to see what this director can do, Trachtenberg.
Yeah, without spoiling it, there's a really good scene that it ends on that is potential for a sequel.
Yes.
So hopefully this movie does well and we get a sequel.
Right, right. So if you got this far, thank you for watching. And we just, again, above all else, we encourage you to watch this film.
Absolutely.
So take care.